Hello, and welcome to day 2 of your fiber bootcamp. Today, we will begin to embroider the outline of your plant. For today's step, you will need these items. Number 1, you will need your drawing. Hopefully that is all colored in and finished by this point. Number 2, you will need your fabric. Last time we traced the outline in Sharpie. Number 3, you will need a length of black yarn. You can get this from Mr. I. Number 4, you'll need a needle. Number 5, you'll need a small piece of tape. And number 6, you will need this device. It's called an embroidery hoop. We're going to start with this first. First thing we need to do is loosen it up, and the best way we can do that is twist toward you. Once you've loosened it up, you can take the two pieces apart. The inner loop has a nice little lip at the bottom. You're going to need to have this facing down. You're then going to put your fabric in the embroidery hoop, the inner one, and take your outer one and just slide it over the top. It'll tighten it up, and now it's time for you to screw this away from you. That way it gets tighter and your fabric will not move. You don't want to tighten it too hard, just hard enough that it's not going to fall off. Next, we're going to thread your yarn through your needle. Here's how we do it. You'll take one end of your yarn and stick it right in the middle of your piece of tape. Once you've done that, you're going to fold that tape over to create what looks like a little flag. Take your flag and you're going to slide it through the hole in your needle. There we go. We're through. Once you've threaded your needle, you will tie a knot so it doesn't fall off. So wrap it around your finger to create a little loop. Once you've created your loop, you're going to take your flag, fold it underneath and up through the hole. Once you pull it tight, you'll have a knot. The flag will get in the way if we don't get rid of it, so we just get a pair of scissors, chop that off. You throw that away. So now it's time to start embroidering our outline. It doesn't really matter where you start, but we're going to do one shape at a time. So I think today, since this one is the biggest and it's right in the middle, I'll start with that. Anytime you start embroidering, start from underneath. And I like to pick a corner or an edge to start. So I'm going to poke my needle through, give it a little tug to get the knot through. And when I'm pulling my thread, I'm continuing to pull it, I want to leave a tail in the back. That way I can tie it up when it's all done. Eventually the back is going to look pretty ugly, but the front is going to look great. So what I'll do next is I'll do what we call a running stitch along this line of the petal. Here's how you do it. I poked up through the top. Now it's time to poke down through the bottom. Okay, once I've done that, I tighten this back up so it doesn't fall off. I'm going to poke back up through the bottom. Back down through the top. And I'm going to keep doing this until I get back to my starting point. As you can see, the stitching is now becoming my line. And a suggestion I have for you is if you're poking up through the bottom, try to get it as close to the last stitch that you made. Go down through the top again. We're about halfway done. Up through the bottom, down through the top, up through the bottom, down through the top. Okay. When you get back to the beginning, which I'm about to get there in just a couple more stitches, you're going to take that tail that you initially made. We're going to tie a knot so it doesn't fall out. So just a couple more stitches and I should get back to that. think maybe one more after this, and we should be there. All right, here we go. So I'm back to the beginning. I stitched around that petal. Now it's time to flip it to the back. We're going to make sure that this doesn't fall off. So it's just like we do a double knot when you're tying your shoes. Okay, so you go over, then under, and then we're going to pull it tight. Okay, but instead of making the bunny ears or the loops like you do when you're tying your shoe, you're just going to do that same step again. Over, then under, then pull. Ah! Let's try that again. Over, under, pull. Okay. Some of my Boy Scouts out there might call this a square knot. So at this point, I can cut off close to the knot. I still have some more thread, and I can start my next section. Maybe for my next section, I will just go ahead and get this petal going down the middle here. Remember, leave a tail. We're going to keep stitching. So I'll finish this up. In the next video, you will see that this will all be complete, and I'll be ready to start adding some color inside of my piece. I'll see you there.